got quite the history in boxing, as we can see. Tell me how you first discovered this sport, how long you've been involved in it.
Yeah, my father started all out when we was all kids. Probably started about 4 or 5 years old, and been fighting ever since.
Gotcha. Were you originally from Kansas City out here?
Yep, born and raised.
Got you. And you fought a lot as an amateur, like had a lot of success, a lot of titles. How was that part of your life, that run?
Same reason why I opened up the gym here. We opened the gym here just to give kids another outlet. When I was younger, needed a place to go, get away from it all, so to speak. We didn't have to, be, put in a certain box. So it's a good place for us to go, be able to be individualized in how we compete and how we wanted to live. So it worked out for me when I was younger.
Got you. What about the transition to being a trainer and helping the youth out? Was that a natural for you?
Yeah, well, as you grow up in boxing, as you get older, you realize how much of a role that boxing played in your life. So once you get to a certain point in your life, you want to give back. You want to be able to help the other ones coming up who may be dealing with the same stuff you may be dealing with as they grow up. So we want to make an outlet for them. So that was the whole point of us opening up here at Community Boxing.
Tell me about your fighter, Dan Abram Jr. What's it like working with him? How long you been together?
Well, I started Dan as a little boy. Actually started over at the Casey Rec over in Missouri. I used to run that gym years ago. And started out with a kid. I think it was like probably 8, 10 years old, something like that. And then when I ended up leaving from there and coming over to my own gym over here, brought him along with me. He's been a good inspiration, he's me for a young guy to have some ability and be able to work with him and try to make him, make it to the next level.
Gotcha. Do you follow the sport too, like all the fighters and stuff? And
somewhat.
Anybody catch your eye?
Somewhat. Boxing has changed, over the years. It was a different type of fighter back in the years ago when I was fighting even before then. Today is a different class of fighters, so they think different, they act different, they got a different ideal about boxing and about the whole arena of boxing. So, I don't really understand the new age boxing, So I'm working with Dan. He's a guy that's committed, where most people in our generation of boxing, they're not committed to nothing. But he's a committed young man. I appreciate him. That's why I work with him so diligently, because he has some honor and some kind of support to kind of be able to be what he wants to be.
Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder was supposed to fight a third time, but now the fight is off because of COVID. Did you think anything about the postponement and what will happen when they actually do meet in the ring?
Well, it's no context. You watch the fight, you watch the first fight, you watch the second, there's no use even worry about the third. Any fighter should understand that they know boxing, that it's not even it ain't competition. There's nothing that Wilder can do with Fury. Nothing. And so people may think different, but if you do, that's fine. Watch the fight when it comes up. You'll see.
Gotcha. What about Anthony Joshua? Does he impress you?
No, sir.
No, why not?
Who is Anthony Joshua? No.
Okay. How about over your time as a fighter, who are some of the fighters who impressed you at heavyweight? Whether it was Mike Tyson or, Ali? Who are the ones you've looked up to over the years?
Actually, the one I really like is Oliver McCall.
Okay.
And even though, I knew Oliver McCall, even though, he had his issues, he was a man I know that could really fight. So even though he didn't get a chance to display a lot of things that he could do, I watched him in camps, we were in camps together. The man is an excellent fighter, he never got his due. Cause his own hang-ups, but that's just the way it is. But he's a guy that I really like.
Great stuff.